Welcome back to the Funeral Babe podcast.
Hello, hello.
I'm Melissa, the Mortician, Undertaker, Funeral Director, Embalmer, whatever you want to call me, and my sidekick here.
I am Christina, and I am not any of those things, but that's okay, because I'm here to chat about all of the fun stuff that goes on in your life and in my life, because believe it or not, it's all related.
All connected. We always bring it all back
Yeah,
to everything, which is actually a very good point, because that is what I really wanted to talk about. Basically about that rest in peace, but live in chaos. That doesn't seem to jive, right? Does that sound good?
Yeah, no.
But we put on the headstones, rest in peace. But people's lives are so chaotic. Like, I don't have time, I gotta do this, I have to work, I have to do that.
That
all
was
these
mind
things.
blow.
Right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I guess it does intertwine with that topic of like, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know, like rest in peace.
It's a big funny haha joke, but like the reality of it is kind of sad.
It is. Like, I feel like if you want to rest in peace, you need a life in peace.
I like that. I like that. To
like,
rest in peace.
You need to live a life in peace.
Okay.
But it's hard,
Yeah.
Understandably. You know, everyone goes through what life throws at you. But I would think that the real part is to find your inner peace and your inner contentment to live a peaceful life. But it's hard to do, obviously, because of all the things that society makes us want to do.
Well, and like, things that life throw at you, too.
Right, but look at me, girl. 34 years old, no kids, not married. What do you think society is saying? Your time is going, what are you doing? All of these things, and it's like, but is that what is making me happy right now? Right?
Yeah.
You know, some people chase things and
it's all about the chase, but then when you get that, then what's next?
Right. How high can you go? How do you want to go? And what's the point?
What's the point? Exactly. If we're all going to die anyway.
There you go. You're starting to think like me.
Getting it.
It is. It's what's the point? What's the next thing? If you're not happy when you're doing it, what are you doing? Like, and I get, like, you have to make sacrifices, 100%, right? Like, even, you know, I look at funeral directing. How much do I work?
I'm surprised your phone's not blowing up.
I know,
right
it
now.
hasn't rang once.
I know, we're going to jinx it.
It's amazing.
We're going to jinx it.
And it literally rang right when I got here, too. The phone rang, and I was like, I almost made it out, you know?
But no, it's you leave work. You got to my house the other day. You left work, came to my house, and was on a work phone call for the first, like, 45 minutes.
It really was, yeah. It was a pre-need call. Like, I never had, all about pre-need, too. And it's like, you know, I work very hard, but I also live very hard. You know, and then I look at other situations where people work really hard just to make ends meet, just to do things, and it's like, wait, are you enjoying yourself?
Most would probably say no.
I feel like a lot of people aren't. Yeah. Like, a lot of things is also like a society tells you what you have to do, so what you think is the right thing to do versus what you actually want to do, or, you know, pushing past your own boundaries and your own lessons.
Yeah.
Like, when do you hit the part of your life becomes purposeful?
Oh.
I mean, you're a mom too. I feel like when you had kids, that felt like...
well, obviously, for my situation, it was that. Not that, like, my whole life is being a mom. It's my favorite job, but it's also, you know, I still try to make time. Obviously, have my phone chats with you are important, but, you know, I have, you know, my nights out. I do lunch with my girlfriends once a week or once every other week. Like, you got to find time for yourself, too, to make everything else kind of, not, like, be worth it, but, like... you know, to kind of balance out that the constant need at home, like, and not that it's not fulfilling. I absolutely adore it. And to your point about, like, you know, the work home life balance,
right? Like, where your balance is,
or where you find happiness and fulfillment. And like, for me, I've been the person who's worked 2 jobs and, you know, and not, you know, left one job to work the other and busted my butt to have nice things, to work hard, to pay this, to do that. And all that really, like, didn't matter. It wasn't fulfilling. It was just, like, jobs. It was nothing that, like, gave me a feel of, like, purpose.
Of a purposefulness.
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
like...
And honestly, and you know, and I absolutely adore getting to be home with my girls and you know, and doing all the mom stuff too. Like, to me, that is a big fulfillment for me.
Yeah, and it's a big purpose. Yeah. And it's when I feel like when you chase purpose rather than, like, chasing paychecks, rather than, you know, doing things that you don't really want to do, that's what makes you live a better life overall.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, and when you think about those things and how little time we have here before we die, like the focus, it's all about focus, and it's all about, and like, okay, I think one part I want to like kind of point out is like sacrificing, right? Like, you know, yes, people will say like, well, you need money to do things. I need money to enjoy things, and it's hard to enjoy things without going to work, and that's what, you know, what the cookie crumbled is. You know, when you think in that sense, like you need to put in work. You need to be able to, you're going to have to make sacrifices. Not everything's going to be great when you're getting there, but it's what you're actually seeking. It's not like you want to start a business and you want to do this. That's not really your end game. It's what are you seeking with that business? Are you seeking because you want a balanced lifestyle? Is it seeking that you want more time with your kids? Like, what are you actually seeking? What's the highest top?
People aren't looking at that level, though. They're just looking at the first, like, I just want to get, you know, the newest of the new, the nicest of the nice.
The nicest car. I want to have the marriage. I want to have the kids, like whatever it is. But it's like, where's that purpose that you want to have that's going to come from it? Was that going to be fulfilling?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's such an important aspect is following, you know, your inner, what makes you go, what fuels you, because that's what matters. It's not what everyone else thinks.
I just have a point, so I don't want to lose it, because you see what happens to these people who live their life by the money situation, by what they have and whatever, and then they die, and then what matters? Like,
oh my gosh, we have a line in the that we say, it's the shorter the contract, the longer the driveway. So the longer the driveway of the home, you get it like really big houses, the shorter the funeral contract. It's like these people have so much money, but then like there's no one coming to the funerals. When I say you see patterns of how people live, it's in the funeral, it's mind blowing. It's incredible also to see how people can, let's say who aren't financially in the means to afford a funeral.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
How they can come up with funds for a funeral.
People get together, families, communities.
Because that person was so loved compared to when you see people who weren't, or people who don't, they were just business people. You know, I've seen funerals where the whole room is completely packed out with flowers, like just flower after flower after flower after flower, and everything on it is, you know, the Melissa and Christina company, the something company, and you come to the funeral and there's 12 people in the room. It's like makes you think about that person's life too. Yeah. Like that's like did you spend so much time at work building your empire, and then what?
And then,
you know, you can see a lot through people's lives in a funeral.
I'm sure.
You know, and like it also goes the opposite way too. Like even people who were great people who had their wealth and stuff like that. But then sometimes you know, where does it? You're not taking any of it with you.
Yeah.
So where are you putting that time and that?
While you're here, yeah.
Right, and but there's really great people too that I've met who've had it all, and but where they came from, it's almost like they were just doing things they really enjoyed, you know, things that they were really good at, and they put a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice into making the tougher decisions.
If you could think about, like, in all of the funerals that you've done, like, what is one thing, like, one memorable thing that somebody said about, like, another loved one? Or maybe, like, if you see, like, a pattern, like, what's something that, like, sticks out to you that somebody says about another person after they're gone?
Oh, everyone's an angel, if that's what you mean.
No, but, like, more authentic. More
like, literally everybody is the best one in the room. No, a lot of people during the funerals, when you get to know what kind of lives they lived, it really, there's so many patterns. So, like, with, like, if a family man, like that kind of that love that they put in and things like that, like there's your pattern there. Some of the older folks are more, you know, they were really lived that hard life. Like, you know, she walked 5 miles in the snow.
Uphill both
ways. I did have a memorable conversation once with someone. He was married like 76 years when his wife passed away. And I said to him, what's the secret to a long marriage? And he was like, choice. It was a choice. It was a choice to show up every day. It was a choice to be with her every day. It was a choice to be nice to her. And I was like, well, when you put it that way, it seems pretty easy.
It comes back to just like life is easy. Like everything is just a choice. It's like you're choosing, you know, you're choosing to either make your life easy or hard, essentially. I mean, I know we say that there's sacrifices, there's reasons why you say, and we get, you know, all that. But it's still a choice.
It's like, and it's like the money hustle mindset. Like everyone needs to just do the next thing. You need to be at the next thing, but it's like, well, do you want to be at the next thing? Do you want to do the next thing?
I'm good here.
You know, like, are you good? Like, you're content, like, which is awesome. Yeah. But then, you know, and it's when you grow, like, you have to continue to grow through that, and to move and make those sacrifices to move on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, I feel like there is such a lot of people don't live as authentically as they would want to if they just let everybody just not matter. If it didn't matter, you would live such a more authentic life that's more true to you.
Do you think if we knew, like, when we were going to die that we would then?
Yeah, like, if you got your time of death, what would you do? Is there things you want to do?
Nothing really comes to mind. I got pretty much done, you know.
So really, if someone said to you, okay, you're going to die in the next 6 months, 6 months from today, like, boom.
I'd probably just hang out with my kids. Like, I would want to spend the time with my family and loved ones. Like, I wouldn't want to go out and, like, explore. Ooh. I don't know.
Because you feel like people would treat you differently, but but wouldn't that, and like they wouldn't be authentic?
Maybe, yeah.
Or maybe they'd be their most authentic because they know that you're going to take it to the grave.
I don't think so.
Oh, that was deep. You wouldn't tell anyone?
I don't know. No, maybe I'd keep it to myself.
I like to say that line too to people where it's like if you found out you were dying and like, or like if you went to the doctor and the doctor told you were dying, if you're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. It's like the doctor can actually tell you that you're dying.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you that you're dying.
We all are
like,
dying.
We all are literally dying every day, just one step closer.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and that's that shock. Like when you remind yourself, like I only have this short time. It reminds me when I did the Miss New York thing. Remember that? Mm-hmm. I called you up. Everyone was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I kept that a secret.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I kept that such a secret.
You did a good job with that.
And then when I called everyone and I said it, and it was like, you know, for me, it was just like, now's the time. Like, I don't know. I didn't know I could get any better looking because I would have waited till this year. But at the time, I was like, I only have now. And like, you didn't know what's going to happen. You know.
And you're so happy you did it, right? You stepped out of your comfort zone. You did something that you never thought in a million years you would go through with, and you did.
I feel like the harder decision is usually always the better decision. Like the one that's like the more difficult when you're like thinking it's like, no, that one's too hard. That's probably going to be the one that's going to be best for you.
Which is why probably people are so many people are so stuck because they choose the easier, safer route.
Yeah, like everyone, they let other people's opinions and other people's things, you know, kind of dictate their life, I would think. And I see this a lot, like in my own personal life. Like, you let other people dictate your life. You're not really living for yourself anymore.
No.
And
you're
then,
just
like,
proving you're, when you
die,
proving what? Yeah.
When you die, like, do you think that, like, you're really going to care what Stacey thought of your outfit?
Exactly.
Like, no, like, really, does it matter? Do you think you're going to care about your 900 Gucci bags?
No, you can't take it with you.
You can't take it with you. Like all these things, like what, you know, did you work really hard for what? What's the, you know, no, I think when you're dying or like if you found out you're going to die, what you're going to focus on, like you said, is spending time with your kids. You know, like doing things like that, spending time with people because that's what really actually matters. Living authentically, like is probably the most important part to when you die is that you did it for you. I think more people on their deathbed have regrets than they do. Not they don't have regret. I shouldn't say more people do, but they don't say I wish I didn't do this.
Yeah.
I'm mad that I did do that thing. Like I feel like more people have regrets. Like I'm mad I didn't
do something.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you know when it comes to your time, like it's not like are you going to be really mad that you tried something new that you're going to be mad that
you didn't try it.
You didn't try it. Like you have
maybe
to.
It was the worst experience of your life, but you did it. You got over it. You know, you got through it.
Like everything's a lesson. Everything's a learning experience that you can learn from and follow what works for you. Because when you die, it's your life. It's not everyone else. It's not what your mother thought. It's not what your father thought. It's not what you think your friends and everyone on Instagram is going to think of you. Because you start caring what people think about you and you let that affect your decisions, I feel like you're just not...
You're going to lose yourself, for one, like, you know, and then, who do you have left then at the end? When you've given yourself to, you know, please this person, to please that person, to please this person.
You know what, too? And it's like, I feel like we can always look at each other, like, and say, like, hey, you know, what's your advice? Like, you've done this before. So, like, we can always share experiences and we try to learn from other people. And that's also why we also feel that we have to do certain things when we don't, like, work the job you don't want to work because it's your paycheck or, you know, you feel those things. But if you didn't have that persuasion, you would have to make an authentic decision yourself. Like, if you didn't have someone to talk to, right? If you were in that field. And I always look at that like dying. Because we have no one to call up and be like, hey man, how was it? Like, did you make it to the other side?
Yeah.
What's it like over there? Should I dress warm? Like, we don't know anything, you know? So to not know, we live our lives blindly, and we're going to walk into death without knowing, making those decisions on our own.
So you want to be the best version of yourself so you can walk into death?
You're going to have to walk into death alone anyway.
Yeah.
You know, you're living alone anyway. Like, it's not anyone else's decisions to make, like, for you and judgments. Like, yes, of course you value other people's opinions in some cases, but to value
enough to let it affect
you do things and not that you want to do. It's just like, it's a trap. It's a giant trap. Like, you want to be able to enjoy your life. You want to be able to make a significant impact. You only have so little time here.
Exactly.
You know, and that's what I say about work too. Like when I do funerals and I'm with families and the decedents, it's like I get to see their significance.
You see
their significance in the world, like for their life, like everyone who shows up and who doesn't, and like where people spent their time and how it worked out. And that could have been the first. No. Not a death call.
Look at you.
Yay.
Right.
And that could have been the, you know, that's how you see people and you see their legacy. And it's like every interaction you make is shaping your own legacy.
What do you want to
leave
leave
behind? What your time is.
behind?
What do you want to leave behind? Are you happy with what you're doing? It's okay to make changes. It's okay to go through sacrifices to get to where you want to get. You know,
do it now before
do it now, and live that like a lifestyle that works for you. That's how I think of it.
Absolutely, but not to find happiness.
No, it's contentment. It's contentment. Like I think I work that's why I kept saying I keep going back to the same thought. I work really hard, but like I have that balance, and it's because it's a lifestyle. It's just a way that I live my life, and I try. Granted, I have bad days, but I try not to show up to work in a bad mood, saying I don't want to be here, because if that was the case, I would not be happy on a daily basis. I just live my life in such a way where you want to present your best self forward every day and follow your heart.
Being able to do that and be your most authentic self, I think, shows through your work too, and the way that you present these people to their families. Like you are literally like, it's such a delicate thing that you're doing, and I don't think you give yourself enough credit for it either. Like this is like the last moment that these people are going to see this person that they loved and have all these memories and all this with, and you are the person that's making this all happen. And if you didn't enjoy what you did, and if it was just like a job thing, then I feel like that would probably show through your work too. I feel like because you're so content,
like I'm so into it too.
You know, like
I'm not TikToking it. I'm on a podcast about it.
It's so important to you that it shows through your work, and it, you know, obviously like everybody's happy. I'm not happy, but
and honestly though, I feel like I've learned all those lessons from like the decedents themselves. Like, and that's like where I see it, where you realize how short life is, and like one day I'm gonna be on that table, and like, am I gonna be happy with what I'm doing? Am I making the good choices? Like I constantly remind myself that I'm gonna die, and I constantly remind you that too, because I don't want to ever get trapped in that chaos living just to rest in peace. You know, like why I want to live a peaceful life too, and then also rest in peace. And I think that should be like the goal, right? You got to live easy to rest easy.
Yeah, why not?
That makes sense.
So easy.
Yeah.
Death is so easy.
Well, cheers to an authentic life.
Cheers. Living authentically. This is not coffee.
Doing whatever you want to do that makes you happy, you know, like real simple.
It makes you content. Because happiness everything's temporary.
Ooh,
including life.
Hey, everyone dies.
Everyone dies.
Well, until next time, subscribe. We're going to get the hang of this. Like, share, and subscribe and comment.
And comment.
Bye.